what are we expecting from France this weekend?
It's a tough one. 2017, we beat them 14-8. To beat them, Lois Forsell jumps over from dummy half and sneaks us a win. 2018, we go over a young squad supported with some great experience. And we beat them 54-4. So I don't know. I would imagine they've worked just as hard as what we've worked within that time. So, and they will have made changes of players. So I don't really know what to expect. But what I do know is we're preparing for a tough battle. We're hoping it's a tough battle, but we're preparing for a real tough battle that, will be decided at the back end of the game. And listen, if it isn't that, if it's similar to what it was last time, we'll be ruthless, we'll be relentless, and we'll just concentrate on showcasing our own skills. Because at the end of the day, we've got to worry about ourselves, and we've got to prepare as though we're playing the world's best.
We've just seen Ireland play their first game against Wales. We're obviously a developing nation. Scotland starting their programme. How important is it that they build up their squads to give you more localised competition, not just ahead of the next World Cup, but World Cups going forward?
Yeah, listen, it's not all probably just about England, but from my point of view, it is. I just think we've got to work together as nations to help improve each other. Until they get really strong, until we're facing Wales and that game's being decided in the last 5 minutes of the game or the last 2 minutes of the game or the last kick of the game, until we get to that level, we'll never truly get to where we want to be. So yeah, we've got to support them, we've got to work with them, we've got to get them as strong as possible without losing to them, to propel us to where we want to be, which is, it's not just about being world champions, it's being back-to-back world champions and, competing on a world stage on a regular basis.
It would be very hard not to pick a majority of St Helens players for this squad with how the season's gone. Is it a concern that a lot of the talent is moving towards 2 or 3 clubs rather than being spread throughout the league, as some suggest?
Is it a concern? I suppose it's a slight concern. But there's a reason why players are going to a certain club. We're already seeing movement. There's more movement to come. It is a concern. Ideally, again, the league would be a little bit more equal. But if you ask Leeds, if you ask Saints, York, if you ask them teams to take the foot off the gas, they're not going to do. So unfortunately, the rest are going to have to catch up, unless we can do something internally about it, where there's some sort of structure where the talent spread across the teams. But that would take a massive financial boost, wouldn't it? To be fair, to get people to drive to the other end of the country. But yeah, you would like to see a more even Super League. But at the moment, it is what it is. We've got a few injuries within the squad, but we've still got a real strong bunch to pick from. And my job is first and foremost to ignore the clubs that the players come from and just pick what I feel is the best 20, regardless of who you play for. We're seeing Sean Royal will go to Huddersfield who didn't make the top 6. How big is that for them? Will other players follow? How much will she improve them? How much will they improve training and playing alongside a player like that? They're the types of good news stories that I want to see. So yeah, I hope I've answered your question somewhere in all that babble, but yeah, we've got to do something about it. But first and foremost, it starts with the clubs doing something about it.
And of those clubs, Saints and Leeds, the top 2 teams in the competition, as we've seen throughout the last few years, you must want to see more games like we saw in the grand final and the semi-final in the Challenge Cup, where the players are being challenged on an intensity level higher than those games where they obviously win by 60, 70 points.
Yeah, of course. One of the things first things I look at the end of the week when all the games are being played is a GPS to try and have a look at the intensity and to try and measure that up to international games. And unfortunately, there's just not enough games where we're getting anywhere near it. In fact, it tends to be the semi-finals, the finals, the top 2 playing each other where we're getting close, which it doesn't help the international programme. You need intensity week in, week out. But we've got to go with what we've got, and we've got to just continue to work hard like what we've done for 4 years, and almost from my point of view, from an England point of view, not make excuses. We have to find that intensity in training to overcome what's happening in the game sometimes. So that's what we do.
You have the science to back up intensity. We just have to make it up in our heads when we're watching from the stands. But in terms of a final one, in terms of young players coming through, I know obviously this year's been a nightmare in terms of arranging things, but how important is getting an England Knights? I know the coaching staff is in place to get them a fixture next year ahead of the World Cup, just in case you need some extra players to bring into the squad.
Yeah, for me, I don't even know that they need a fixture. I think it's about getting the Knights programme together and make sure it's a really good development programme. And I think what you do is you do something similar to what the men did this week, and you run against each other in terms of the England women's against the Knights. What the Knights players, what the Knights programme can and will do is put players in the window for the full England squad. So, for instance, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but Kira Bennett, on the back of the final, has now come into the full England squad. I've been previously been at the Knights, and I know she had a few injuries. So it's working because you kind of see these players at the club level, but I got to see him on the Knights programme, chat to him, find out a little bit more about him, because, it's not just about talent, it's the person as well, because we want to bring the correct people into our environment that enhance it and don't depreciate what we've got. So, we've already seen with players like Kira, where we've had a chance to have a look at her. She's had a big grand final, and she's come into the squad. Probably just a bit unlucky. She's suffering with concussion at the minute. Otherwise, she would have actually been considered.